Welcome back to another episode of Bifrost of Bifrost. This is Dr. Norbert coming to you from ancient Egypt.
Whoa!
Where I was actually for my Christmas holiday, which was amazing.
You go to Egypt?
Yeah, we went sightseeing in Egypt from Cairo down to Luxor. So, yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Why didn't you tell me that? That's crazy.
Oh, yeah. It was. I'm an ancient history buff from a long time ago, and mostly ancient Greek and Roman times, but ancient Egypt was part of that. And to see this stuff in person, to be inside the pyramids, to see the mummies up close, it was just mind blowing. It was just
I've been there. I've been to Egypt. I've been inside the pyramid. Yeah.
Oh, fun! Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I loved it. I saw Tutankhamun, what's left of him.
Yeah.
That was pretty creepy because you go in and you read like a plaque that's like, oh, people believe that if you see Tutankhamun in the flesh, you'll be cursed and die early. And then you go through a door and he's there. It freaked me. I was only like 15, so I was pretty freaked out by that. But, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, so it was great. But you know who else?
How do you think the pyramids were made? What's your theory?
Human ingenuity, obviously. Yeah.
Oh.
Actually, you know what's funny is every time that they would point out some of the guides would point out weird stuff, like some symbols on the hieroglyphics or this and that. My sister and I would always just kept saying, "Must have been the aliens. Must have been the aliens."
I think it was actually, here's my hot take. You ready? I think it was built by En-Sabah-Nur.
Oh, okay. You're getting right into a transition. Wow.
Sorry, we should talk about events first. But yeah, I'm excited to talk about Apocalypse. That's why.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, me too. So buckle up, everybody. This is going to be a long episode. We're probably going to skip Sleeve It or Heave It because he's got a shed load of cards, as they say in England here. But yes, events really quickly. We have two big events coming up in Europe that you should know about. The Belgian Masters is the only American-style convention that's held in Europe. It's 3 days long in Leopoldsburg, Belgium. It's been running for a number of years now. The guys are really great about it. They have a really nice eclectic mix of different types of tournaments for Marvel Crisis Protocol this year. We're driving over there for it, and it is March 7th through 9th. 7th through 9th, they have a Discord, a Belgian MCP Discord, which has a channel where you can talk about it. But if you look around the internet, you can find me, and you'll find some information about the event. It's also on Longshanks, so you can get the rules pack off the Longshanks event. The other big event is going to be our tournament. Yes.
Whoa.
The third chapter in the Mutant Weekender narrative/competitive tournament, 2-day tournament, is happening May 17th through 18th in London, West London. We had a really successful one just this past January, and we're doing it again in May. So do join us for that one. And then lastly, in June, we will be having Multiverse of Malmo, or Multiverse of the Malmo?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Multiverse of Malmo.
That's it. Okay. It's held in Malmo, Sweden. It's held in a microbrewery where they serve barbecue food. And the guys there are actually cribbing. They used to have just like a pod system for their 2-day tournament to make up for the fact that they didn't have enough people there. Although they have, I think it's 64 this year, this time around. Yeah.
Nice.
64. Yeah. So it's a lot of people, but it's not enough to do like 7 games, right? Where you need 128. So they used to do pod system, but they came to our Mutant Weekender, which we had a different type of system. They loved it so much that they decided to take it themselves. So they're running it the same way that we run the Mutant Weekenders, which I think is fantastic. You get 7 games in and you have opportunities to win stuff both on day 1 and day 2, regardless of how well you're doing or not.
Yes, there you go. Yeah, the whole thing with Mutant Weekender is that on day 1, you can lose all your games, go 0-4, and you go into a pod on day 2 with a bunch of other people that went 0-4, and then you start again, basically, and you play them. So you can win your pod of losers on the second day, which my teammate Charlie did. He went 0-4 and was real sad, and then went 3-0 and was real cocky. So it can really make your weekend turn around.
So those are the big events happening in Europe right now that at least I'm aware of and looking to go to. So we hope you can join us there. Okay, let us get into Apocalypse. As you said, En-Sabah-Nur. Any idea where those names come from?
It means the first one, I think.
That makes sense.
I think. Yes, originally Namor was the first mutant. Fun fact I learned this week. Namor was the first comic book character to fly, ever. Isn't that crazy? Because Superman jumped.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's the whole thing of like Superman can leap what's the saying?
The tallest building. Leap over the tallest building, yeah.
Leap over the tallest building. That's because he used to jump before he flew, and Namor showed up and had little wings on his feet and could fly, and that was in like the 30s. So
okay.
There you go. Fun fact. Anyway, yes, but now Apocalypse is known as the first mutant. So the idea is that he's the first human to have the X gene, and he built the pyramids.
Okay,
Confirmed.
So he is a human, but had the first
Mutant. Well, he's a mutant. Yeah.
Right. Okay, got it. Right. Okay, but he's not otherworldly. Is my point.
Not that I know of. No, as far as I'm aware, he's just a mutant. Who went into hibernation. Hibernation? That's not what it's called. Went to a sarcophagus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. So he is affiliated with just one faction, his own, Servants of the Apocalypse.
Yes, and we should caveat this actually before we go any further. We should caveat this with Norbert and I are not qualified enough to talk about this character fully competitively.
I played against him just recently, though, so I have that.
Cool. I played as him. I've played as him and put him away.
Okay.
This is too complicated. I'm going to wait until I have more time to think about this.
Yeah.
This is a very, very complicated character. Very well designed. I will say that as well. I'm resentful of this because if you've listened to our AMG interview episode that came out a couple weeks ago, we had Ben Ransom on, who is the designer and one of the designers at AMG. And he, one of his first project was making Apocalypse. And annoyingly, I lived through the Malekith era. I lived through the Cosmic Ghost Rider era. And I'm currently living through the Thor 2 era. And I thought when Apocalypse comes, this is our time. I only play mutant characters. This is our time to get a big broken kaiju. And he came out and he's very well designed and very well balanced. So fuck you, Ben. You're really good at making characters. Why did you have to do it for the first mutant? But yes, anyway, so very well designed. Congratulations. This is a masterfully designed character. We're going to get into it now. The whole episode is going to be about all the words that are on all of his cards. It's going to be very confusing. So yeah, just bear that in mind.
He's definitely a fun character and well designed, as you said, but maybe not the most easy to start with if you're new to the game.
Oh God, please don't start with this character. If you're thinking about who to play, please don't start with Apocalypse.
Yeah.
This should be your probably third or fourth affiliation.
This is your warning.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So let's talk about the character itself. So first of all, as I said, he's affiliated with Servants of the Apocalypse. This is one of those leaderships that is a tactics card, correct?
But it doesn't take up a slot.
It doesn't take up slot. Okay, fine.
So it's actually not. No, technically it's not a tactics card. This is a tarot-sized card, right?
Okay.
So it's actually not. It's just because it says when leadership is chosen, assign them the Master of Horseman card.
Okay,
so they just get this card. So it's actually just a way of them adding more words to a card without needing to do that. So yeah, this isn't a tactics card.
That's really interesting because his character card is chock full of text. So
it's covered.
Because theoretically, I think what you're saying is theoretically it should just be on his card in the leadership section.
Yes.
It's just they can't fit it.
Yeah, which is hilarious. And I love that. It's like, for leadership, please see this card. That's just sign one of how complicated this leadership is.
All right, cool. He is a chunky boy. He's on a 65 millimeter base. That's the largest base. He's got 4 defense across the board, 444. He has 7 health. He's size 4. He moves medium, and he's 6 threat. So that's what puts him in the kaiju territory. But as we will talk about, he is actually fairly well balanced despite being in that territory, unlike some of the other characters we mentioned already, at least when they first were released. Mm-hmm. What do you think of this as a 6 threat, these stat lines, in the absence of any of his powers?
Chunky.
Mm-hmm.
Chunky, yeah. 444, 7 health. Chunky.
Yeah.
And then 8 health on the other side. It's great.
Yeah, it's just, excellent. So
when this card first released, when they revealed it at Mini Extravaganza, we only saw the healthy side. And I asked Angus to play with me, and I guessed who all the horsemen were, and I just played his healthy side. And he died really quickly just because of some bad dice luck, nothing really, dependent on Apocalypse. And I said to Angus, well, I don't know what's on his injured side. And Angus said, well, he died pretty easy there. So I reckon they probably give him like 14 health on his injured side. So we played the game with him having 14 health because we're stupid. So yeah, wait till the cards are revealed before you play them, guys.
That's really funny. I'm going to talk then about of his passive superpowers because one of them is quite interesting and plays into this chunkiness. So on his healthy side, he's immune to bleed, incinerate, and stun. And those are excellent. Bleed, you're not going to get the damage as easily. Incinerate, of course, is really good not to have to deal with that. And also stun, you get all the power you want. Really fantastic. But the bonkers thing is when he flips onto his injured side, he becomes immune to every special condition.
Yeah.
That includes stagger.
Yeah, everything.
So, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is going to play into his other superpower, the passive superpower, which is crazy. And this is what I kept running into when I played this at the last tournament I was at. It's called Only the Strong Remain. And as passive, as I mentioned, after an attack against this character is resolved, if this character suffered damage, it may remove 1 damage from itself. Additionally, so let me just stop there. So that's kind of like damage reduction. The only, like, the tweak of it is that if you happen to daze him, then this doesn't happen, right? Because he's dazed, so he does. So it's always kind of like damage reduction, unless you manage to do a big hit and wipe him out.
Yeah,
at once. Okay,
which is very, very thematic because he's used to fighting the X-Men, so a bunch of little dudes around him. So Apocalypse can really take on chip damage. Chip damage won't do much into him. If you're doing 1s and 2s, he's healing 1s. So it's horrible. But big swipes, a Thor 2 coming at him, he'll struggle. If he takes 5 damage, he's a healing 1, so he's still taking 4. So yeah, he's kind of thematically built to stand up to lots of piddly attacks, which I think is really cool.
That's 100% what happened to me when I went wide Wakanda against him, and it was disaster. Especially because all my characters happen to have triggers on their attacks for special conditions, and that leads into the next part of this superpower. So the damage reduction is one half of it. The other half is additionally once per turn. Thankfully, once per turn, when this character would gain a special condition it is immune to, it may either gain 1 power or remove 1 damage from itself. So that's like another damage down the drain that you did to the thing.
Yeah. So if you're going in with, like a Zemo and you
that's who it was.
Yeah. Oh, with Zemo. Yeah. So you deal damage and give him bleed because you can't, it's not optional. When you hit those triggers, it's not optional. You do give that condition. Then Apocalypse goes, thank you very much. I'm immune to that. I'll heal too.
Yeah. So he is resilient, which is really bizarre because I heard other hot takes about him when he came out on other podcasts, and they kept saying that he wasn't particularly hard to deal with. Like that was the complaints about him, and I found that very hard to believe.
He has a weakness, which is big dice attacks, and in today's meta, big dice attacks are very common. You got Thor 2, you got Dracula. Throwing huge attacks into him is fine to do. It's okay. But that's fine. He has a weakness. Again, very well designed and balanced character. Annoyingly.
Yeah. So definitely chunky as a result of this. As you said, what I learned, and I think is the case, is that you need to go after him with big hitters if you have a hope to try to take him down. Okay, let's get into his attacks then. He's got 2 of them. The first one is a physical attack called Bimorphic Arsenal. It is range 3, 7 dice, cost 0. It's he gets to choose actually what type of attack it is. It could be physical, energy, or mystic, which is also another amazing part of this attack because he just chooses your weakest one all the time.
Every time,
it's a builder. After the attack resolves, you get power equal to the damage dealt, and then he's got a wild trigger called Cower Before Me. After this attack is resolved, the target character gains either the shock or root special condition. And root you don't see terribly much, and he hands this out a lot.
Root is one of the best, yeah.
Yeah, it's awful. And so root is where you have to pay 1 extra power to use a superpower of any kind. And shock, of course, reduces your attack dice. But in addition to that, if the target character already had the shock or root special conditions before this attack was chosen, throw it away short. Now, like I said before, being able to choose the attack type independently and throwing 7 dice at range 3 is fantastic. I mean, I guess people feel like he's a slot machine, though, a little bit, because it's kind of like Thor 1's problem. You either roll well or you don't. But
I mean, you're always picking their weak defense, so they're not blocking much usually. And I mean, 7 dice is it's a good chunk of dice.
Yeah,
it's a Hulk punch, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and, fair enough. Hulk isn't an attrition piece, really. He's a control piece. So, but I mean, we're looking at 10% of his kit, right? Because every tactics card kind of has an effect on his attack. So
he gets blowed up like crazy. Yeah. All right.
The key thing here, the key thing here is he has a big dice pool, which means it's unlocked. Usually, you're not going to roll that many skulls, and it means it unlocks the dice pool for manipulation, which comes later.
Good foreshadowing. That's good. His second attack is a spender. It's energy attack. It's called En-Shaba Noor's Judgment. It's only range 2. It's 8 dice, costs you 3. But you add 2 dice to this attack roll for each special condition the target character has. And as you will start to discover when we talk about the rest of his kit, there's loads of special conditions being thrown out everywhere with his faction. And so it's very likely that you have at least one, if not two. I had 4 on my character. A lot of them had 3 special conditions on my character. So that's 2 dice per. So you're looking at a 10 dice minimum if it has a special condition.
Yeah, these are Helios laser punches.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, this is amazing. If you're playing the Apocalypse game plan, like you mentioned, of just spurting out special conditions, which you should be, then this becomes a 3 dice, quite reliably 12. Sorry, a 3 power, quite reliably 12, 14, maybe 16 dice attack. So yeah, this is it's little Helios laser punches.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, okay, let's talk about his superpowers. We talked about the passive ones already. He's got 2 reactive ones. One is called Celestial Technology, which is 4 power, so pricey. During the power phase, choose up to 2 other allied characters within 5 of this one. Each chosen character drops all objective tokens and is placed within one of this character. So you basically, it's like Asteroid M back to you, essentially.
Yes. Yeah, which is really cool. And I wasn't sure how good this was until I played the best Apocalypse player in the world twice.
Who's that?
Collar.
Oh yeah.
Was that
right.
Was that the Mutant Weekender? I played against him with Sentinels.
Yeah.
And had him on the ropes, by the way, with Sentinels. So I was pretty impressed with that. And Thor 2 was there doing most of the work. But this is a disengage tech. That's the way he plays it. So he'll send someone like Wolverine and Archangel, for example, up into your team. They'll charge in and do a bunch of damage. And then you think, well, at least I can get them back next turn because they're now, in amongst my team. And then you use Celestial Technology in the power phase to bring them straight back to Apocalypse behind him next to Colossus, who's a bodyguard, right? So it's actually a really good disengaging tool. And it's also a flank switching tool, which kind of the first thing. I grabbed Apocalypse and played him on Gamma and Demons, thinking, great, I've got an EMAP team now with mutants. And I had an awful time. And it's totally not the way you're supposed to play him. You're supposed to play this guy as a kind of movability team. Like, everyone's very mobile. You take like a bunch of horsemen that can run around and you use Celestial Technology to almost flank switch. So imagine you're a mutant madman. You kill everyone on one side. And then you use Apocalypse, who's super fast because he's a large base, medium move, to move, and then Celestial Technology people with him.
Yeah.
To switch. So yeah, it's great. It's really cool.
We should mention his affiliation. The characters in the affiliation are all X-Men type characters.
Yes, they're all mutants because he only believes in mutants. He believes in survival of the fittest. And mutants are the next step in evolution.
Okay, the second superpower, also reactive. You will be remade through me. 1 power. When an enemy character within 5 would gain a special condition it already has, this character may use the superpower. The enemy character gains the bleed, shock, slow, or incinerate special condition instead. A character can be only affected by this once per turn. So basically, it's a way to keep loading up conditions on characters, which, as we said above, is really helpful for his attack, plus some other stuff that we'll talk about.
Yeah, and cost 1. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Very good ability. When your game plan is to put conditions on people, it's just this is great.
And conditions are just such a nuisance. They take an entire action, which is very costly to get rid of.
No one shakes them. You basically never want to shake them.
Yeah, you don't end up shaking them. I mean, Blade can shake. Wong can pull one off of you, but I can't think of many other cards. There's the Scarlet Witch has a tactics card that drops conditions, I think.
Yeah, there's Children of the Atom, which was going to be our Sleeve It or Heave It before we decided we didn't have time to do it in this episode.
Yeah, it makes
Children
sense.
of the Atom, you remove all, from an X-Men character, you remove all conditions. But yeah, condition removal is a niche thing. So this is really cool. I got really excited when this came out because it felt like a new kind of archetype in the game. We kind of have Hydra who are sort of spreading conditions out, but this is mega conditions. This is everywhere. The one weakness to that is characters that daze, right? When you daze, you lose all your conditions. So that means that Hulk has a terrible time into Apocalypse because he holds on to all his conditions because he can't daze. When Hulk's dazed, he's gone. So yeah, don't take Hulk into Apocalypse ever because it's awful. Because once he gets 2 or 3 conditions on Hulk, he keeps them forever, and then Apocalypse just starts hitting him with 12 and 14 dice attacks like it's nothing. So yeah.
Should we talk about the leadership and horseman cards next, or go into his 2 tactics cards instead?
I think let's do his tactics cards.
Yeah,
because the horsemen are a whole episode on their own, to be honest.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Okay, cool. The first one is called Immortal Servants. It's a Servants of the Apocalypse card. It's active. Apocalypse can spend 3 power to play this card during his activation. Remove 2 damage from Apocalypse. The worst. And each other allied character within 2 of him. Amazing. Yeah. Now, that's if you use it in an active fashion. You can also use it in a reactive fashion. When Apocalypse is attacking or defending, at the end of the modified dice step of the attack, before the calculate success or failure step, he may spend 2 power to play this card. The attacking and defender characters re-roll all of their attack and defense dice. So it's essentially recal. Except, can you play recal then after this as well?
Good question. No, because
you've done all the modified dice stuffs.
Recal is a really weird step in the timing chart.
That's why
you caught me out here.
Yeah, it's usually the very, very last thing. Like before you recal, everything else has to have happened, and then you recal it, and then nothing can do it.
So recal says at the end of the modified dice step. So when does this card get played?
It gets played at the end of the modified dice step.
Cool. So I don't think you can play them both.
You have to play one or the other. Although I take that back, though. Can't like an attacker play like so can like the defender play recal and then the attacker can play recal as well?
So I think actually because they're both at the same step, you could play one after the other.
Right.
So you could, I think
depending if you're the attacker defender, will if Apocalypse is the attacker or defender, depend on who has to go first, kind of a thing, because the attacker always goes first. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
So basically, this is basically a 2-cost recal.
Yeah.
That's how people have been taking it. And then when you're in a pinch, it's a heal bomb.
Yeah. Right.
I think this is an auto take every game.
I would say so, because those are good prices. In fact, the recal price is less than the healing price.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Recal for 2. Well, it's a big heal, right? It's remove 2 from Apocalypse and everyone around him. And because of celestial technology, he can bring everyone around him, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a really good card.
Oh my God. Can you imagine that? You beat up the horseman, he brings them back and he heals them up again, and then they're ready to go.
Imagine. Yeah, brings them out of danger, pulls them out of danger, puts them behind him, and then heals them. Horrible.
Oh man, that's awful. Yeah. Okay, cool.
So I think you take this card every game, to be honest. This is amazing. Because you take recal every game, usually, right? If you're an attrition team, you love recal because it can be used offensively, defensively, and this is just another recal. So you take this card.
Okay, cool. The second tactics card is the first one. It's unaffiliated, so wherever he is, you could take this. It's active. Apocalypse can spend 4 power to play this card. Choose an allied character. The allied character is KO'd. Remove 1 activated token from Apocalypse. If the chosen character was injured, Apocalypse gains the staggered special condition. I had this played on me the other day too. It was Archangel that was almost about to die. He played this card and got to do another activation and broke the back of me for the rest of the game. Yeah, it was bad times. But this is what's the other one that you can remove an activated token? It's banned now, isn't it? Wasn't it like a Black Order card or something like that? I'm trying to think of.
I don't remember.
Thanos had it.
Removing activated token is a big deal.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of another one, but it was a big deal. I don't think it's in the game anymore. So there you go. Here it is.
So this card got played against me in round 1 the other day.
Oh wow!
By Collar, who's the number 1 Apocalypse player in the world. Basically, I had Thor 2, who right now is the big scary bad, and Apocalypse attacked him, and they were going to keep Prio. So he was like, I have to daze Thor, so I'm going to play the first one right now, and KO'd poor Toad, round 1.
Yep.
Hadn't even done anything yet.
Yep, sure.
He was like, you're gone. And then went with Apocalypse again to make sure that he dazed Thor, so that when he got Prio, next round, he KO'd Thor. Or at least he tried, he didn't, and then I won. But that was the plan. But yeah, I thought that was a wild take. But I guess that's probably more of a comment on Thor being a problem than anything else. Yeah. But this card's great. And also, we'll get onto it, but you have a horseman, your horseman of death, who you benefit from them dying. So this kind of helps in with that as well. And they've got a couple 2 threats in faction, so this isn't KOing someone too important. So it's pretty cool.
So this is a unaffiliated card. So do you see Apocalypse being splashed anywhere?
Oh yeah. Like, hang on a minute.
Yeah, it's
weird,
right?
Splash him in. So people talk about splashing Apocalypse in Hydra because of his conditions, and they have like a condition
with Strucker.
With Strucker, what happens if you use this card on Bob, who can't KO? Hold on a minute.
Bob is so complicated.
Bob, agent of Hydra. So hang on a minute, I need to find this. On his injured side.
Yeah, it's on his injured side.
When this character does not have an activated token and will be KO'd by having damage tokens placed on it. Okay, fine. It doesn't work. Good. I'm glad.
Interesting.
I'm glad I didn't find that weird loophole.
Yeah. And you don't really want to use this on an injured character, right? Because then he gets staggered, so he only gets one action after starting again. So
ideally, this is a healthy character. I think that what Collar did of, playing it on a healthy Toad is probably the way. You kind of get Toad to either just, maybe scoring you a VP at the back, and then when you need Apocalypse to really go again, you just KO Toad.
Yeah.
Poor Toad.
Yeah. Well, everyone's got their purpose in life. I feel like this is a very strongly advised card to take, if not stapled to Apocalypse. What do you think?
I would have completely argued against it until I saw Collar play it. And now I'm like, oh, actually, yeah, that was quite good. Apocalypse teams are going to be based around Apocalypse. There's not really any other way to play them. Well, there is no other way to play them. So this gives your main guy another turn. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I think you need a plan for it. And you don't always take 2 threats. So if you've got a bunch of,
that's true.
4 threats, maybe you don't take the card then. So I think it's situational.
Okay, now we're getting into his leadership ability. So it's called Master of the Horseman. And Jamie and I are going to tag team reading all this stuff because we feel like you have to, but you don't want to listen to me the entire time. But I'm going to give it people this in a nutshell before we get into the real text. So basically, he's got a number of different characters within his affiliation that can be a couple of two. So each of the characters that exist that have this ability, they can be assigned one of. I keep saying this wrong. 2 of 4 horseman abilities. Okay, so there's 4 horseman abilities: death, famine, pestilence, and war. And so any one particular character could be assigned, possibly assigned 2 of the 4. I'm not saying this terribly well. We'll come on to it.
Well, it highlights how complex this is.
Yeah. So
in a very interesting way, by the way, but yeah, it's a lot.
So basically, you need to pick characters that can be assigned a horseman card if you want to use this. And then at the beginning of the game, you're going to assign them one of the horsemen they're allowed to be. And they get that superpower, essentially. And also Apocalypse gets to use that superpower as well. Okay, so is that kind of sum it up basically what's going on here? Did I
basically
stumble through that?
The thematic way of describing it kind of helps, I think, which is he's got his horseman, and any horseman that's there, Apocalypse has access to the horseman powers as well. And every member of the Apocalypse affiliation has 2 horseman options they can be.
That's it. That's better said. Yeah. The other complexity to this is that then there is this pseudo power token that's part of this horseman stuff called evolution tokens. So you hear about evolution tokens and how you can spend them as part of this. So
and they're kind of like winging it tokens, Guardians.
That's a better way to think of it.
A little bit like that.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the basic principle, folks. So we hope you at least caught that idea before we start reading all these rules, so you can try to understand where we're going with these rules.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to start with the actual leadership card called Master of the Horseman. So once per turn during its activation, Apocalypse may use one of the active superpowers on any of the horseman cards that was assigned to an allied character by this leadership. So that's what I said before. The character that has the horseman card can use that superpower, but he gets to use it as well. And in fact, I was just looking at this though. That means during his activation, he can use only one of them. So if you have 4 horsemen on the table, you can't use all 4. You have to pick one.
Yes, you have to pick one for Apocalypse. Yeah.
Okay, cool. When Apocalypse is KO'd, this card is removed from play after the effect is resolved. Okay, so fine. In other words, the horseman stuff goes away when he gets KO'd. During the power phase, this card gains 1 evolution token, interestingly. It can have a maximum of 6 of these tokens. Then, once per turn, when an ally character assigned a horseman card is attacking, defending, or dodging during the modified dice step, it may remove up to 3 evolution tokens from this card, and for each one that is taken that way, you can reroll one of its dice. So just like a winging it token, you're right. Except it's possibly 3 dice that can be rerolled. An allied character assigned a horseman card may spend evolution tokens on this card as if they were power on its stat card to pay the power cost of superpowers on horseman cards. So you can only use the evolution tokens as power to pay for horseman superpowers, not like whatever else is on their normal card.
Yeah, that's correct. And that is you got to be very clear about that because AMG mentioned it as well, is that if you start giving characters like access to extra power, essentially, to do their kits, you'll start to just take characters and not use their horseman abilities, right? Like Gambit's card is incredible if he suddenly has access to like 2 or 3 more power. So it doesn't work that way. It only works for the horseman cards. So think of it thematically, where Apocalypse isn't like, I didn't bring you in to be an X-Man, I brought you in to be a horseman. So these tokens are just for horseman powers.
Yeah. Okay. So you're always going to get 1 evolution token per power phase, but spoilers, all the horseman abilities also have a way to get more evolution tokens. So there's going to be plenty more on this card. So you can use them either to modify dice, so you get to reroll dice, or you can use them as power, a pseudo power for just that one particular horseman superpower.
Yeah.
Is that all clear?
I mean,
it's a lot going on, but
it's a lot going on. Yeah, you said the words on the card. I think this is one of the things where you have to play it a few times to really get it. But yeah, in short, this is a card that goes on the side of the table and you put tokens on it.
Yeah.
And we'll get into how you do that later. Yeah. And in the power phase, you add a token. So it's just like, adding power to your characters, you give it a token. And those tokens can be spent by everyone on your team for rerolls. So think of them as winging it, but you kind of spend 1 token.
No,
dice.
Not everybody, just the horseman.
Oh, in my mind, you only take Apocalypse and the horseman.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, you could have other characters that are not assigned horseman cards. They can't do any of this stuff.
Yes. Yeah,
it's just the horseman who can do this.
I'm yet to see anyone do that, but people do it. Actually, I know people do splash like pyro in here.
So it's a nice, interesting choice, dilemma. Do you spend the tokens to reroll dice, or do you use it to try to use your superpowers? And keep in mind, it's a pool. So like if you do all this fun stuff with one of your horsemen, that might mean then there's not enough tokens for other people to do important stuff later on in that turn.
Exactly, yeah. Pat Dunford plays a lot of Apocalypse, so I've kind of been mining him for information. This is a
Pat Dunford character if I've ever saw one.
Oh, yeah, he loves it. He loves it. He gets to think 3 times as hard as his opponent, which maybe makes it a fair game. And his whole thing, kind of the dumbed down version was you use the tokens to pay for the horsemen to do their jobs. Each horseman has a job, which we'll get into, and you use the tokens to help fund that. But if you're not doing that, you then just use all the rerolls on Apocalypse. Because then Apocalypse is a crazy builder, and you give him like 3 rerolls, and he gets 2 wilds, and he gives them a bunch of conditions, and then he Helios laser punches them in the face, and it's great. So that's kind of the idea is that this is like a little kind of savings, bank loan for the horsemen to do the job, but the big payoff is when Apocalypse hits them really hard.
All right, cool. Now we're going to start trading off. So they have 4 horseman cards, and you're going to take the first one, which is Death.
All right, Death. Horseman. You scroll down a little bit. It's fine. Created to end. So during the next attack, this character makes this turn, add 1 die to the attack for each damage the target has to a maximum of 3. This superpower can only be used once per turn. So you pay 3 to add up to 3 dice, depending on how much damage they've taken. Yep. So it's called Created to End. The whole point is you're ending someone. They're close to death already, and you're just getting them there.
And this costs 3 power. And also remember, it's not the horseman only. It could be Apocalypse himself doing this.
Yes.
And they could be spending power, or they could be spending evolution tokens.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And they have a passive. The Horseman of Death has a passive. Once per turn, when another character is dazed or KO'd by this character, or this character is dazed or KO'd, that's key. After the effect resolved, you gain 3 evolution tokens, basically. So that gives you... Oh, there's a lovely little list right below. Thanks, Jarvis Protocol. Right below there's a lovely little list. So the list of horsemen that can take this are Archangel, Cassandra Nova, Gambit, Honey Badger, Iceman, Psylocke, Toad, Wolverine.
Right.
Now, I suggest you look at this list in 2 halves. You have people that want to kill people and people that die often. So you have Archangel, Wolverine, Psylocke make very good Horsemen of Death because they've got like charges and stuff. They can get in and deal some damage, and this will help them, finish people off. And they'll get a bunch of tokens for dazing and KOing people. And then you've got Honey Badger and Toad. Now, Honey Badger, one of my favorite characters in the game. Her job is to die a lot. She dies for your team. So when you give her this, she gains evolution tokens for dying. And Toad, he sometimes dies. He grabs extracts and then he dies. So I see most people seem to play Honey Badger and Toad as their Horsemen of Death because they don't mind so much when they inevitably KO.
Yep. I've seen the same. Exactly that. And yeah, so and adding extra dice always seems pretty good. I mean, it's all dependent about them taking damage, the target having damage on there in the first place. So it's not something that you lead with, but it's a good finisher essentially.
Yeah, for sure. And I love this on Honey Badger because Honey Badger has a sneakily good attack. And sometimes with Honey Badger, because she can't score points, you just want her to move once and go and stand next to someone for her too dangerous to ignore taunt thing. So I often find that Honey Badger has an action left. So this created to end, if she's been dazed, she comes back with a bunch of power. She can just quickly do one of these, and her builder's 5 dice. So it's 6, 7, 8 dice builder,
right?
Off your 2 threat, who isn't usually doing anything. It's just a cheeky little like, oh, here's just a big attack. Let's do that. And then she might get a daze, and then she gets 3 evolution tokens. So the perfect game for her is, she gets dazed. She gains 3 evolution tokens because she's just bodyguarded. Then she dazes someone using the ability. She gains 3 evolution tokens, and then she KOs, and that's 9 tokens off of a 2 threat. It's pretty great.
Yeah. Okay, we're not going to comment on this until we get to the end, because as far as like what's going on with all this happening. So let me get on to the next one, which is, let me do War next, because they're similar in some respects. War has an active superpower called Fury, costs 2. During the next attack made by this character, this turn, if the target character is within 2, this character can change 1 die result from a hit. It can change a die result to a hit for each crit or wild in the attack roll. Okay, so let me repeat. The target has to be within 2 of you, and for every crit or wild that you roll, you can change a die to a hit. So it's a way to add more successes into the attack roll. And the eternal debate is whether this ability or the death ability that you just finished reading is the stronger of the 2 when it comes to power damage output. What are your thoughts about that?
I don't think there's a debate there. I think it's this one.
Mm-hmm.
There's a debate between this and the famine power, which we'll get to in a minute. Sorry,
okay.
Wait, this is famine? What is this one?
This is war.
This is war. Sorry. I thought I was following. This is what there's a debate between war and famine, which one you use there, but we'll get onto that.
Okay.
This one's good, especially for Apocalypse, because he has such a big dice pool. So he has a lot more, he's got more chances of getting those like crits and wilds.
Right.
And then also, because the thing is, you need space in the dice pool to then turn dice to hits.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
If this is on a 5 dice attack, you could get a couple crits and wilds, but if you've got a couple skulls, you can't actually turn any of the dice into hits. So you need a bigger dice pool for this. This is quite good for Apocalypse, basically. It's only 2 power. That's quite cheap.
Yeah, it's cheap too. Are you saying though that the horsemen get less, or like people who don't have a big dice pool get less value out of this?
Yeah, I mean, it depends who it is, right? Like, you're looking at the list now. I mean, the horsemen are Beast, Cable, Colossus, Deadpool, Honey Badger, Magic, Sabretooth, Wolverine. There aren't huge dice pools in that, right? Cable's attacks are great, but that's because they're 5 dice with 2 rerolls, so it's still a small pool.
Yeah.
Wolverine's maybe slightly better. So yeah, it's not. They don't have big chunks of dice, right? This is going to work way better on Apocalypse because you don't run as much of a risk of getting skulls and not being able to use it.
Okay. The passive ability on this card is called Horseman of War. The first time each turn, this character suffers damage from an enemy effect, and the first time each turn, this character deals damage. After the effect is resolved, you gain an evolution token. So either getting hit or doing damage to somebody else gets you an evolution token. So that's quite easy to get. Yeah.
You basically want this horseman to be in a scrap.
Yeah.
All the time. So the most common horseman I see for this is Colossus. Because he has his taunt ability. Mm-hmm. So he can take damage on other people's turns quite a lot, and you want him to be taking hits because he's tanky. It's his job. You don't want him to be hitting much though, is the difference.
Why is that?
So his attacks just aren't very good. And you usually want to get him into position.
Yeah, personally, I see. I thought you meant to be this Horseman of War ability doesn't want you to attack.
Oh no, War you definitely want that. Yeah, I was just talking about Colossus specifically. But it does say the first time each turn this character deals damage. So you could get it from terrain throws as well. So Colossus has a terrain throw.
Ooh, good call on that one. Yeah, it isn't from a super. It doesn't say deals damage from an attack; it just deals damage. Like that one.
So that's kind of cool. So Colossus is a big one for that. I loved running Honey Badger on this for the same reason as Colossus. She's a bodyguard, and her job is to get hit. So you just gain an evolution token out of that. I loved running Sabretooth with this because Sabretooth can hit you back on his turn. So that's really fun as well.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, so he gets a token there. So yeah, it's cute. I like War a lot. And yeah, I like what it does to the characters. I think Colossus is probably the front runner quite easily in this one. But yeah, I've seen people run Cable as well, because Cable's always in range to hit every turn. So he's always getting one evolution token.
I like the Sabertooth interaction. That is really cool to be able to do extra, to trigger it more often.
Yeah, he's fun. Shame he kind of sucks.
Yeah, well, okay.
You get a lot of tokens out of him, so it's good.
All right. Since you said Famine was in contest with this one, why don't you pick that one up next?
Cool. Okay, so Famine. This has Vanish into Dust, which is a 2-cost superpower. Choose up to one enemy character within 2 of this character. If an enemy is chosen this way, it loses 1 power. So basically, choose someone within 2, they lose a power. Place this character within 2 of its current position. Can only be used once per turn. So this is kind of like the Space Stone on Thanos, except it also drains a power from someone within 2.
Yeah. That totally caught me out at WTC against Right Mad Ben. I knew it could teleport people, but I deliberately moved somebody within attacking distance of this character, not remembering or knowing that this power thing here it drained a power from me, and it was exactly what I needed to do a charge.
Yeah,
and it totally blew up my game, which really sucked.
Yeah, really, this is really bad. Yeah, so the Famine Hop is I think everyone, as soon as this card was revealed, everybody knew that this had to go in every time, purely because it gives Apocalypse, a place, a range 2 place
on his large base.
On his large base, it's enormous. It gets him exactly where he wants. So yeah, it's pretty great. It also gives their... Oh, sorry, go on.
Yeah, I just want to make sure. I don't know if I might have misheard, but it costs 2 power to do this, so it's not much.
Costs 2 power, yeah. Or 2 tokens, or a combination of the 2.
Yep.
Horseman of Famine there's a passive ability they also get. At the end of this character's activation, if no non-dazed enemy characters are within 3 of it, you gain an evolution token. So this character basically wants to be outside of range 3.
Of
to
things.
Get the token at the end of their turn.
Yeah. Is that hard to pull off?
It depends who you're playing as. I usually ran Cassandra Nova or Deadpool with this. Now, I love Cassandra Nova because she has stealth, so she can kind of do some attacks and then Famine outside of 3 to get the evolution token, and now she's in stealth as well.
Yep.
Which is kind of cool. And Deadpool is absolutely crazy with this card. By the way, if you love Deadpool, play him as Famine because he gets another place, because he already has one. He's got, you can't spell Legendary without Leg Day, which is a range 2 place. So he gets another one. So he can Famine in and then do like his Bang Bang stuff. Like Bang Bang gets his triggers, generates 2 power at least, and then spend 2 power to Leg Day out again. So to then get the Famine evolution token, which is really fun.
Iceman is one of the other horsemen this can be assigned to, and he's got that freeze and fade ability, right?
Yeah.
So
hit and run.
Yeah, it's hit and run basically. So he can attack, move away, and then potentially be outside of 3 of other people and trigger this passive.
Yeah, it's huge. It's really good. Iceman's fantastic in this as well because he gives out conditions really well on his beam. So you can send Iceman in, beam, and then freeze and fade, beam, and move out of range 3 and generate the token. So that's really great as well. It's nice seeing Iceman have a home.
Yeah. A bizarre one, but okay, yes. So yeah, the full list of characters, tell us what they are.
So Cassandra Nova, I mentioned. Deadpool, Gambit, which is interesting for this. He's kind of a backline sitter, so the place helps him a little bit. I don't know. Yeah, it's Gambit. Iceman, we mentioned, is great. Magic, amazing, because she has a range up to a range 3 place, so she can kind of Famine in, do some attacks, generate some power, place herself out of range, which is great. Mr. Sinister, who no one plays.
No.
I love that guy, but he needs some help. He's not. Let's not get into. There's a whole episode on his own. Let's not talk about Mr. Sinister. Psylocke is also amazing because she can advance herself. She kind of has like a pseudo charge thing, and stealth as well. And the Blob, who we don't see very common, but people love him as Famine because it gives him a little extra movement.
Well, Mr. Pat Dunford was playing him. Was it Pestilence or something? But he was a fantastic horseman for the job that he gave him. It's either Famine or Pestilence, now thinking about it. Because Blob has this thing, if you attack him from outside range, it pushes you away.
Yeah.
And so it's the chances of him then staying outside of 3 is pretty good. So I think it must have been actually Famine that Pat was using the Blob for.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty great.
And then you get to play the Blob, which you otherwise don't really see very often.
Yeah, I love that character. And the kit's really cool. He's a great character.
So, cool. All right. Should we move on into the last one?
Yeah.
Okay, it is Pestilence. It has an active superpower called Consuming Blight. It's 2 power. For each enemy character within 2, choose one of the following effects. So either you can say if the enemy character has the poison, root, or slow special conditions, it suffers a damage. Or else that character will gain one of the following special conditions, poison, root, or slow, but you can only use the superpower once per turn. The passive ability, Horseman of Pestilence, is at the end of the character's activation. The Master of Horsemen leadership card gains 1 evolution token for each enemy character that gained 1 or more special conditions during this character's activation. So, this is what they call the Pestilence Bomb?
Pestilence Bomb, yes.
Yeah. And is that because it's for every character within 2 of you when you trigger the active part of the superpowers here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the one that always catches me out. I feel like I've got control of the game, and then a beast will jump in and just like slow my entire team and then leave. And it's crippling. It's so horrible. This is almost unavoidable with the characters that can play it. We should go through the list actually. So it's Archangel, medium base, medium move. Beast, medium base, medium move. Cable has his place. Colossus, medium base, medium move. Yeah, medium move. Mr. Sinister is also here. Sabretooth is a long mover. Blob and Toad, and people love this on Toad as well because he could just run around. He's got hop and stuff. So yeah, this character is basically just going to run in and go, here's a bunch of conditions, and then run out. And don't forget Apocalypse's ability to switch a condition. So what you'll often see is a character move in, give everyone root or slow, whichever one is more painful for them. By the way, you're rewarded here for having very good knowledge of MCP because certain characters are completely crippled by root, and certain characters are completely broken by slow, basically. So learning other people's characters and knowing what condition will hurt them the most is really key here. So you run in, you give out a bunch of root and slows, you run back. And the next turn, you run back in, you give them the same condition, and Apocalypse just pays 1 to change that condition to anything he wants, to like incinerate or bleed or something.
Yep.
So you're just stacking them up. And the bit I keep forgetting is that if that character has the poison, root, or slow special condition effects, it suffers 1. So if you're alive on 1, you're just dead.
Yeah, that's right. And
it happens to me all the time.
And it's not even when I say they're not mutually exclusive abilities. In other words, you're either putting one of those 3 conditions onto the target, or if it already has one, which kind of would mean, oh well, I don't get anything out of this ability. No, actually, you do. If they already have the one that you could put on them, you can't put on them again. But instead, they take a damage automatically.
Yeah, exactly. There's no downside. There's 0 downside. The only downside is that you're in range 2. But then if you're one of the fast characters, which most of these horsemen are, you just leave again. It's horrible. Beast is awesome as this because most of the time in X-Men, he's doing that anyway. He's running, he's just moving, throwing, moving, right? You don't attack very often with Beast. And same with Colossus, you don't attack very often. His attacks are kind of crap. The rest of his kit is what he's there for. Yeah. So you're happy to just move, do this bomb, and then move out again.
That's right. You're making a good point. If you read in these abilities, none of them are attack dependent. So you don't have to do attack at all. You could just do movement stuff.
And this one, Pestilence, often does.
And Beast is also a wall crawler, so he gets around wherever he wants, which is amazing. So
does Toad. Yeah. And you get one evolution token per condition. That was given out during activation. So it's the whole activation. So you can do something like Archangel can do his builder, get 2 wilds, give out bleed and poison. Let's say he gets a crit as well. So he places, he uses the Pestilence Bomb, gives out root and slow to some people and poison to someone else and leaves. That's like 5 conditions. Depending how many people are there. Yeah. You get 5 tokens.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So okay, we've gotten to the end. That's it. That's a lot.
We made it. Let's take a break, Norbert. Hang on. Let's just take a breather. Okay. So it's like we're building a pyramid here. Let's just calm down. That was a lot. That was a lot of reading. Well done.
Well, thank you. Yeah, well done too, Jamie. So it's all that speaking training that you've taken.
My elocution lessons.
Yeah, elocution lessons in your polishing school that you went to. So it's a matrix. You have to decide which of the 4 characters from each of the lists of horsemen that you want to take.
Mm-hmm.
You give them that card. Question for you then. Do you see anybody taking less than 4 horsemen? You don't have to take all 4.
I hear of it because characters like Pyro are incredible in this list because he gives out conditions really easily.
Yep.
So I hear of people splashing Pyro, which means they're not taking all the horsemen. I suspect.
Well, why? Because they can't fit him in because
you can't fit him in. I don't think so. I mean, yeah, you could maybe not with a great team. I mean, you take 6 threat Apocalypse. Yeah. You take both the 2 threats. This is the only affiliation to have 2 affiliated 2 threats. I think. By the way, maybe Crims. I don't know. But yeah, you take 2 of the 2 threats. That's 10. Then I guess you could take 2 fourth. 3 threat. I don't know. Basically, yeah, you could fit it in so that you could take Pyro and all 4 horsemen, but then you're taking 2 threats and whatever. There's a lot of very strong horsemen here that you probably want to take. Like Wolverine, Colossus are pretty good in this.
Okay.
Beast. So no,
getting back to your point, you're saying you could splash people, or you've seen people splash in Pyro, but that means at the expense of one of the horsemen.
I think so. Usually, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, one of the horsemen, I was worried when they revealed this. I was worried that you would just, like Thanos with the Infinity Gems, right? There's 6 Infinity Gems. And it kind of comes down to you either play Space Reality or Space Mind, and that's it. No one touches Soul, no one touches Time. And I was really sad. I was hoping that wouldn't happen here. I was hoping that it wouldn't go, you just play Apocalypse and, you take Death and Famine, and that's it. And it seems like that isn't happening. I think you always take Famine.
Yeah.
And I think you always take Death. And the other 2 are kind of interchangeable, maybe. But most of the time, like most games that I see, people are taking all the horsemen, which is great. And there's another, kind of round of applause for Ben Ransom and the rest of the AMG team for they've nailed this. They've balanced it perfectly. It hasn't resulted in a kind of, you just take Apocalypse, 1 horseman, and Thor 2. You know what I mean? Which is really nice to see.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. And I was just thinking the other thing about wanting to use all 4 horsemen is that means more chances to build up evolution tokens.
Good point. Very good point. Yeah.
And
you need that economy.
Keep in mind that you could have a maximum of 6 on the card, but that amount can be removed and added to a number of times during the course of a round.
Yeah.
So the more chance, so that you can, the more horsemen you have, that means more chances to build them back up again after you use them.
Yeah, I've heard from Curtis, who was playing Apocalypse yesterday at that event we went to. Some games, when you nail it, you get the economy just right, and everyone's generating their maximum amount of evolution tokens, and it all works swimmingly, and they're all paying for each other. Everyone's having a great time. And then he had another game where he messed up the economy a bit, and no one got any tokens to do anything really. You're kind of behind. So I think that's the real trick here: is learning exactly which horsemen to activate when and where they should stand to get the most tokens, and then how you spend the tokens. So it's a whole game within a game.
Yeah. So I think this guy rewards practice and thinking.
Big time.
Interesting. He could be a real menace on the table. He's also very hard to take down, certainly with little swipes and things. And then it's a question of how do you maximize, because all of these little X-Men characters, essentially, they're not kind of working together, so to speak, which is how X-Men succeed as an affiliation.
Yeah.
And so these guys are kind of broken in a sense, meaning like they don't work quite so well since they're all kind of working as independent operators. And so you're really, I feel like you're really leaning on their horseman abilities to try to kind of glow them up enough to make them good independent operators.
Yeah, I think so. I think that what this affiliation does great is it makes mediocre characters shine.
Yeah.
Your Beast is still, Beast is a star player in X-Men, and he's incredible in this as well. So is Toad, best 2-threat extract runner in the game. He's still amazing in this. But like Colossus, I think that this is the best I've seen Colossus look here, because he has a second job to do, right? It gives them all extra things that they should be doing. And, turns out Colossus is quite good at being the war horseman, because he likes to, get hit. Or he's really good at Pestilence. Can he be Pestilence? Pretty sure he can. I could be wrong. But they all get their secondary jobs. And, it lets them shine, which is really nice to see.
Yeah. He's a pestilence guy.
He is pestilence. Yeah, he's a great pestilence because he jumps in, bombs everyone, leaves, and he's hard to take down. So, yeah, I think it's great. An absolute win from AMG. To be honest, they've nailed it. He seems very fair and balanced. And yeah, I'm sad that I don't get my time in the sun with a broken mutant character that everyone complains about. But hey, Phoenix has come out this year, so maybe that'll happen. I don't know.
I was going to say there's a little bit of a like real money aspect to him, though, right? Because you have to buy a number of different boxes, of which you're only going to use one character for each.
Yeah, I mean, I would argue that anyone who is interested in playing Apocalypse, it's probably, their third or fourth affiliation that they're playing, and they're probably into mutants already. And I'd argue that, like, hey, everybody loves Wolverine, which means everybody owns Sabretooth, who they probably haven't played because Sabretooth isn't very good.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it is a lot of boxes, but I think it's quite flexible. It's a lot of characters that are quite old as well, so you might have them. Yeah, I think, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
if you're a mutant player, then you're already halfway there, probably, if not more. And
for
so
sure.
this makes sense.
And you mentioned that, this needs practice. Like, you could just buy Apocalypse and play any horseman to get started and don't worry about it too much and just learn how the horsemen work. And then you'll get a feel. Because, I started playing it and I thought that Gambit was going to be an amazing famine. And I played him and was like, actually, not for me. But I learned how famine works. So now I can judge the next character as a good famine a bit better.
Yeah. I
will say as well, one thing I see Apocalypse players doing is they present their team because it's complicated. It's hard. This is no attack on Apocalypse players, right? I salute you for trying this character. I'm yet to get up the courage to do it. But I see them put their team on the table and they go, right, this is Apocalypse. I've brought Toad and he is war. No, death. No, famine, death. No, yeah, he's death. Wolverine's war. No, wait, hang on. So it's really easy to get confused. And Aaron, Aaron Seymour, who is actually joined us on the TO team for the next Mutant Weekender.
Yep.
He plays a lot of Apocalypse and he has little color-coded stickers on his character card to remember which horseman they can be.
Yeah.
So it's really, you need to find a trick that works for you to remember. I'd probably recommend when you first start playing, just treat every character as one horseman.
Right.
And just be like, Wolverine is always my death. And, whatever. Yeah. And just do that for now. And play 15 games like that.
That's interesting, though. Gosh, to add another dimension of this is flexing from one horseman ability to another on the same character. Yeah. I don't know if people do that. Good old Lord. I would have
Pat Dunford does.
Yeah, I bet he does. But I would have thought, for me, I was just going to say, yep, Wolverine is always going to be war. I mean, that's what he's there for, and not think about it any further.
Yeah, I think that's probably key. Yeah, I think that's how us human beings should play it. If you are a mutant like Pat Dunford, maybe you can keep track of who comes when. But I think you essentially just go, right, well, on this map shape, I need to take Cassandra Nova, and I've decided in my head that she is best as famine, and I'll do that. I think that's generally what you do. At least to get started anyway. Yeah.
Use Jarvis's protocol to help you find out all these different things that we're talking about. He's got it all, or the developer's got it all organized and make it easier way to understand how these things could be assigned and how they connect together. So that's our recommendation to you. All right. Whew, we made it through. Jamie, how do people tell us how they play Apocalypse and the Horse?
Right. You will go to our hieroglyphics panel that we have hidden under a strange temple in the desert in Cairo. No, you go to wherever you're currently listening to on this podcast, you go to the full description thingy and click on the link thingy. There'll be a link to our Discord where you can come tell us how many rules we got wrong this episode. And we also have a link to our Patreon, which, if you want to support us and buy us some more water to drink while we read these long cards on these episodes, you can do that over there. The idea with the Patreon is that we find people that win events all over the world and we interview them and ask them, how did you do that? Maybe we should find an Apocalypse winner. We should find someone who won an event with Apocalypse and interview them, and they can give us some tips.
Oh, God.
But they go on the Patreon and they give us kind of the meta-relevant information, and we release it as soon as we can. And then a few months later, they come out publicly for everyone else. So if you can't afford the Patreon or don't want to support us, that's fine. You'll get all the episodes anyway, just a little bit later. Yeah, when it's less relevant to the meta, basically.
Also, if you have a pet and you want to annoy Jamie, please do post your pictures of your pet in our pet channel on the Discord. He hates it. And
I'm going to unmute this channel now and I'm going to join in.
Oh, yeah.
I've got pet photos I can post. I'm going to do that now.
With that, we thank you very much for listening and hope to see you on the next episode. Thanks very much.
Goodbye.